Hey everyone, welcome back to the Soundbyte. My name is Andrew, and today we're going to be jumping into a bit of thrash metal, some more modern thrash metal instead of some of the old schoolers. It's the band called Warbringer, and they just released a brand new album called Wrath and Ruin, and which I didn't even know had come out. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't realize it had just dropped. Because I was going to check out one of the new singles. The first single I'm going to check out is A Better World. This will be a first time reaction as well. I haven't heard any of the tracks on this album, but I am very familiar with the band. I've been a fan of them for a number of years now. Kind of discovered them back in I guess in the mid or sort of late sort of noughties, I guess you could call it. The sort of 2000 period between 2000 and 2010. Back when the thrash metal genre had a bit of a resurgence, and all these bands like Municipal Waste and Toxic Holocaust and stuff were all sort of coming out, and Warbringer one of those bands, and absolutely loved them. Just super aggressive, heavy, and just compared to some of obviously the classic thrash metal bands, they kind of had a bit more sort of modern edge to their sound, which I liked, sort of like the next wave of thrash metal. Yeah, great band, and I've been lucky enough to see them live once before, so many years ago. So yeah, they always bring out the big guns with their new albums. So I'm looking forward to this Wrath and Ruin, and I want to check out the rest of the album. But until then, I want to check out one of the two of their first singles that they put out, including this one here, A Better World. So let's get right into it. And straight into it. Pretty tight. I'll just pause it right there, right before I guess it's a solo coming up, but yeah, right off the bat, just absolutely slamming. It is a Warbringer song through and through. Just has all the trademark sounds. Yeah, they're pretty consistent. They never sort of let me down. They never sort of put out sort of weak material. They always put out some pretty on point kind of stuff. And this is just straight to the point kind of song. Cool riffs. Yeah, it just sounds like Warbringer. 2025, they've been around for, I guess, about 20 years now. So, and they haven't lost their edge at all. Super tight, and just heavy. Yeah, absolutely love it. It's a great song, so far. So. Okay, short sort of solo bit. That little sort of riff that sort of carries all the way through. Cool. Yeah, great solo. It grooves all the way through as well. It's pretty consistent, and that, like I said, just as it was coming through, that sort of little, I don't know what sort of riff you would call that, but it's not really melodic, but it's kind of just this ongoing sort of pattern that comes through all the way through the song. Very catchy. That's one of the things about Warbringer that I've always liked is that they've got a lot of the harmonies and stuff in there as well. So that's kind of where some of the old school sort of elements are sort of seeping through. But they always have a lot of these catchy sort of riffs, and that's kind of what I look for in songs is just catchy hooks, stuff that kind of sticks in your head, and that's sort of the point of. I kind of feel like there's two sort of songs, I guess. I guess in music in general, but there's sort of like just the catchy hooks sort of stuff, and there's the kind of the more, showcasing your chops or whatever, like your dream theaters or whatever. Um, I guess the ideal situation would be to have both elements, if you like your sort of more technical kind of stuff, I guess. Just because, especially in the metal genre, I guess, people tend to appreciate sort of like bands who kind of, showcase some of their talents and their skills and stuff, especially these days where there's, the skill sets of younger bands these days is, I guess, to a certain degree, much higher than it used to be. And I remember there was someone who was talking about this, about how, bands are doing this more technically now because of the fact that they've got all this range of different bands and stuff that they can tap into through the internet and stuff. Whereas back in the day, it was all about your scene, physically, geographically, it was all about being inspired and sort of tapping into whatever was happening around you in your environment. So, whereas these days, it's like you can just tap into everything and you got like, decades and decades of music to go through. So, and then also you can sort of learn quicker how a lot of the musicians are kind of doing that stuff and then kind of improve it from there. Before it has to, it was all done through like you had to really, really hear it and then you had to sort of maybe read through tab books if they were available. So it's a lot different now, hence why the skill sets have sort of being kind of pushed to different levels these days. Some people would say that's kind of a good thing. And some people might say it's a bad thing because of the fact that, they're concentrating too much on the technical side and less on the on just creating good catchy music, I guess. So, but getting back to Warbringer, it's they've always had that sort of like, they obviously they're quite talented in what they're doing, but also they just got all those hooks and stuff that's I don't know what as far as the modern thrash bands are concerned, they're one of the better ones in my opinion. So and this song, I Bet It Was, certainly showcases a lot of what Warbringer is about musically. There we go. Warbringer with a song called A Better World off their newly released Wrath and Ruin album. Yeah, just on point. Fantastic song. Absolutely love it. It's Warbringer at their best. But as far as like what they do in thrash metal. Yeah, I will say that this kind of music you won't necessarily get anything new. So if you're looking for something that's a bit more sort of, I don't know. It's hard to kind of find stuff that's really kind of breaking grounds, I guess. It feels like, everyone's kind of done everything. So I don't know, I guess you just sort of go, well, this is what I like, and then you just find more of that, I guess. But I don't know. I kind of feel like there's still room to kind of like find, sort of different stuff. I remember the first time I discovered Warbringer, and I kind of felt, like I said, it was sort of around the time when all these thrash metal bands were coming out. It was sort of the new resurgence at the time. And I kind of felt like, okay, this is a bit different to a lot of the previous thrash metal bands. There was just, it was subtle or differences, I guess. So I don't know how many people would actually catch on to it. A lot of people might just hear this and go, well, it just sounds like Metallica or Slayer or something. It's like, not really. I mean, yes, to a certain degree, and then sort of no, because it's got some edge to it, and there's a modern feel to it and stuff. So I don't know. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, I guess, as long as you like it, who cares? So, there you go with Warbringer, absolutely fantastic band. So, thanks for tuning in as always, and please subscribe if you haven't, and if you haven't checked out our social media, please check it out. I know it's a little bit sort of inactive at the moment. I mean, it's just focusing on the YouTube stuff, I guess, but we'll get the socials sort of getting on there. But I just need to get some followers on there to sort of get it going a bit. So and yeah, thanks for tuning in as always, and I'll see you in the next video.